were told by the head of Children's Hospital in Boston that we should put Barbara in an institution and forget her. That didn't sit very well, but it must be remembered that in 1955 there just was no choice. You kept your child at home, or you accepted whatever institution you could put that child into. And for us, it was Pineland State School.
They couldn't cope with the burdens, which at that time, no supportive services whatsoever, very few. There were only two answers: Pineland, the Levinson Center, which was at that time that was a premier place at the time, and someone to Augusta Mental Health or Bangor Mental Health, depending on the circumstance, but mostly Pineland was the answer. There were no other answers. There were no community-based services. There were no supportive services. There weren't any funds. So there was a great burden put on people. It went to the institutions.
The fact that we don't include families is a legacy, is our legacy of clients being in the institutions and of families, for whatever reasons, having removed themselves, and for us purposely fully removing them.
Parents kept complaining about conditions, especially those who belonged to Parents and Friends, Pineland Parents and Friends. And the administration needed more money, just as Al said. We went to the legislature in groups and pairs, and we were able to educate them, and it paid off for the retarded. It was a struggle, believe me. It took years to do it, but the people at that time in the legislature, they just didn't know, they couldn't understand about retardation.
It was extremely difficult to get publicity for what we were doing. We would go in, I went in, I don't know how many times, and sat down at the Portland Press Herald, and we'd call the Bangor Daily News, and we'd get people to do a little for us. But we couldn't seem to get them to see the real story. I think the first real newspaper stories were those of Senator Kerry, absolutely effective in portraying the conditions.
An area that we had to face was parental confidence, trying to help individuals, parents, feel secure about what was going on in the community.
I mean, I've come to know a lot of parents. The McPhersons are wonderful parents. There are lots of parents of Pineland residents and mentally retarded children and adults in the community who are willing to see some risks being confronted in order to provide the opportunity for growth in their children. But by and large, the parent community historically has been, for very understandable reasons, a pretty conservative force.
I use the word dumped because that's what they were doing. They went too fast in deinstitutionalization. They were putting people in facilities and in communities that simply were not ready. Institutions, in and of themselves, are not bad.
I guess the way I look at Pineland Center is that it's very necessary. I believe in my own mind that Pineland Center should always be there.